Okay, earlier in the tutorial we talked about for loops. We kind of went over the different ways for loops work, and now I want to break down a little bit this form of the for loop where you have the for I in range, that format. So I'm gonna bring up a shell, and I'm going to let's play with some stuff here for a minute and see what we can figure out. And I forgot how to bring the shell back up. There it is. So with the shell, I want to play with some of these different part components of the for loop. So we kind of understand what for something in something does, right? It takes the value of whatever's inside of here and assigns it to this variable over here that we've created. But when we say for I in range, we have two built-in functions that we're using here. We're using length, and then we're using range. So let's look at what both of those things do. So first thing I need to do is I need to have a data type to play with. So I'm just gonna, for fun, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and so I have a list of integers. And if I return that to the screen, I get a list, and everything's just great. What if I were to do length of my list? What do you guys think I would get back? Well, I should get back 8 or 9, 10. Sorry, I should get back 10, right? Computers count from 0, but length counts from 1, just like a human. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 elements in this list. So the len of my list returns 10. So we see up here that would just return the value of 7. There's 7 components or parts to my list, and so this would just return 7. And now let's look at see what range does. So range, if I just did range 10, what that does is it returns a list exactly like the one I had before. So let's do something a little bit different so you guys aren't confused. What if I did a range 20? So it gives me a list, basically. Range builds a list for me, starting at 0, if I just pass in one parameter, and going up to, but not including the number that I put in here. But there's still 20 elements in here, right? Because we're starting at 0. So we see that if with this form of the for loop, length gets replaced just by the number of how many items are in here, and then range builds a list of things builds a list for starting at 0, going up to that number. So in our case, in this case right here, where we have 7 elements in this list, it's like basically saying for I in a list, that starts at 0 and goes all the way up to, but does not include 7, because there are 7 items in here. So that is exactly what gets replaced in the moment of time that this code gets run. This gets replaced with that list of 0 to 7. Okay, hope that makes sense.